everyone, I am Tacet, and today I'm going to be going over the Explore minigame. This is a minigame that unlocks in every single kingdom as soon as you finish the quest line for the kingdom. It unlocks this button for it that says Explore. Every single kingdom has its own Traitstones that it can unlock, and this is actually the best method currently in the entire game to be able to farm Traitstones. Console versions, you just got this, which is why we are going to be overviewing it real quick right now. One thing to note is that difficulty has absolutely no effect on the drop rate of these Traitstones. It's always just going to be the 1x ratio, then they're 2 times as much for Runics and 3 times as much for both Celestials and the Arcane Traitstones. Every single kingdom, for the most part, has its own Arcane Traitstone, other than a few that double up. As far as pure colors, if you're just looking to get a specific color, Stormheim is blue, as you can see right here. Stormheim is pure blue. Kazdale is pure brown, Whitehelm is pure yellow, Forest of Thorns is pure green, Karakarath is pure purple, and Pridelands is pure red. So it's kind of that whole arc right here, just between these 5 and then the Pridelands over there for the ones that do pure colors. And if you're extremely early game and you're just looking to be able to farm pretty much any color, you can just go to Broken Spire, Adana, and Zolkari. This will drop every single basic Traitstone in the entire game. The only thing it wouldn't drop is every single arcane Traitstone, because Broken Spire is brown blue, Adana is red yellow, and Zolkari is green purple. So with those 3 starting kingdoms, which are essentially the ones you would be doing anyways when you first start off the game, will be able to give you pretty much every single Traitstone in the entire game as a potential drop. But for this video, what we're going to be doing is going over 3 extremely good teams that you can be using to farm the Explorer challenge. The Explorer just gives 4 random troops from the kingdom, or usually it's supposed to be focused around the kingdom, but they can be just completely random. So we're going to be doing 3 different teams with this. We're first starting off with the Valkyrie Siren. This banner is for Dragon's Claw Kingdom. Anyone on console, you can just use the red-yellow Adana banner instead, and that'll be able to fill up your Valkyrie very well. But we're using this just because it gives an additional red for anyone on PC and mobile. So we'll go into this. It's not really that needed though. The only thing you really need here is a fully traded Valkyrie and a fully traded Siren, if you can get her up. So essentially all we have to do here is get Valkyrie mana and go on from there. We can even use the Siren if we want. Unfortunately, he does not have any colors that we really need that he will be giving. So we'll start off with the yellow. If he doesn't take that yellow, we'll take it. If not, we'll use Siren. So right there, we'll take the yellow, hopefully get a Surge, and that'll give us our mana. We do not get Surge, but he doesn't steal our red because he's taking Skulls instead. So we'll be able to get our Valkyrie up. We'll be able to use that anywheres, and that will almost be the kill. We'll just convert out anything that looks good. Looks like these browns will do. That will give us plenty of mana. And 2 Siren casts will pretty much always win. Or 2 Siren casts. 2 Rowan casts will pretty much always win against any possible team that you could be facing in the Explorer. Depending on how high you have your everything leveled, it may just take 1 like you saw there. It may take 2. It just depends on how much armor and magic that you have for them. You saw we didn't even need to use the Siren for that. Of course, the main thing you want to do with whenever you're doing the Explorer challenge is do them as quick as possible. I normally, despite the fact that I can easily do this on like Warlord 4 or something higher, I normally keep the difficulty just at normal for whenever I am doing Explorers. The main reason for this is they start to get a lot more stats. Warlord 1 is probably the highest you can go. If you want the souls, you'd probably set it to Warlord 1 for only a 25% monster increase, where you're getting 50% extra souls plus the EXP and gold. But of course, souls and Traitstones are probably the 2 main reasons you would want to be exploring. But if you go any higher than that, you start to get to higher ratios that definitely aren't as worth it as much, as you can see between the difference in the stats and how much you're actually going. So Warlord 1, I would say, is the absolute max you would want to do Explore on. I normally do it on just normal because I am only, or primarily only, interested in the Traitstone drops rather than the extra souls. So let's show the other 2 teams. We're going to be going to Kedar for this. Of course, like I said, every single kingdom does give different Traitstones. I normally do it in somewheres like Golvania because I need the red-purple arcane. I also need a lot of minor reds, but right here we can see we're getting blue purples. Some things you might use that for is upgrading your Queen Mab. Consoles, you just got her a couple of days ago. So let's go into team number 2, which consoles can also use. One reason I like doing this kingdom with Crimson Bat is because they tend to have troops that have very low armor. Any of like the knights or skeleton like undead troops tend to have very low armor. Unfortunately, he does have a Finley in there, so that's a very, very high HP. That's definitely going to take us 2 casts to kill. But essentially with this, it's really good because you'll be able to get 1 or 2 solid Valkyrie casts off. Plus you have the empowered soothsayers if you have it all the way empowered, which will be, or all the way traded, I mean, which will be giving your Valkyrie 2 extra magic, which you'll be using to obtain extra souls on top of your bonuses and whatever else you might have going on. So he'll just keep taking random skulls as we just keep using Soothsayer wherever is necessary. Doesn't matter too much if we take skulls. In the previous one it did, because we were using Rowain to do split damage. But since Crimson Bat will always hit all troops regardless of how much HP or anything they have, we don't really need to be taking skulls at all in this current match. So all we really have to do now is cast Crimson Bat twice, and that will be this match. It does take slightly longer, but if you get good enough rolls on the type of troops that actually fall out of Kedar or other kingdoms that have very low armor, you'll be able, or very low HP, I mean, you'll be able to get some pretty quick matches. Another place that you can do this in that is fairly quick is Adana with true damage, because a lot of the mechs have very low HP unless they happen to get like a lot of mech bonds. The way that enemy troops get traits, I believe, is completely random. It just like chooses like a certain random number and then it just gives that many traits or something like that. I haven't really seen any kind of like method around how and which troops get traits whenever you face them. As you can see there, we got like 1 or 2 Valkyrie cast off. We got our Crimson Bat to kill out the team in 2 shots, and you can see we actually got our max capacity for the match of 130 souls. So that was really nice. And let's show the third team. Let's go back to Golvania for that. Go to explore, and it does change every single time. You can see this is completely different from what it was before, and we're actually up against 3 oh never mind, just 2 from Golvania. I don't know why I thought white was for a second. As you can see, white does have very low HP. Like I said, Kedar has some very, very low HP troops that you can utilize with true damage. But anyways, this last team consoles cannot currently do, but I had to show it just because of how ridiculously good the Dragon Soul is at farming souls. Dragon Soul is an alternative essentially to Valkyrie, a damaging one that can do explosions and a bunch of other stuff. It is really good. It by default does 11 damage to all enemies, and if you have more dragons, it'll be doing 3 more per other dragon that you have on the team. Essentially what we're going to be doing with this team is using our giant spider to fill up both the Dragon Souls and just keep looping them. Of course, we're using the +2 purple, +1 red, which is almost essential whenever using the Dragon Soul. And we also, if you happen to have it traded, you'll have a magic link on both your giant spider and a magic link on your ancient horror, which will be really, really good in being able to get both your Dragon Souls up very quickly. And all you'll have to do is just cast it a few times and you'll get the max souls and completely team wipe the enemy team. And I know for sure anyone even lower levels can do this, because the Dragon Soul's damage is always consistent regardless of what your leveling is, since its damage is only based on the amount of dragons you have on your team. Of course, having 2 Dragon Souls is a little bit difficult, but I know some of you might have the extra ones. You can still do this even with 1 Dragon Soul. You can just replace the second one out with something like a Mist Stalker, which also has Magic Link on it. You can just do something like that if you don't have the second Dragon Soul to be able to use with it. But all we have to do now is just keep using Dragon Souls until we win, essentially. Maybe use a Giant Spider if we need to. If we had to, we'd have the Horror as well. You'll likely won't use it. We're mainly just using it for the 2 traits it has, the Cursed and the Magic Link, and the fact that it uses brown, so we cover every color other than yellow, and we're not covering yellow because our banner has -1 on it. So there we go, and all we have to do is cast the other Dragon Soul one more time. That would have been a decent amount of souls. We only got to cast it 3 times, so we didn't get the 4th cast for the max amount of souls, but still, that's still a very good amount. If you really wanted to, if you only had 1 Dragon Soul 2, something else that you could do is replace one of these other 2 out with something that gives the 50% necromancy bonus, maybe even a Valkyrie or something, just so you'll be able to get the max souls per match whenever you do this. As you can see, that just wipes through the enemy team like nothing, and we get almost the max souls. Of course, we only cast it 3 times instead of 4. But yeah, that is the Explorer. It isn't, well, it's the best method that you can do if you were just normally going about this game. But one other method that is really good, which you don't really have much control over, is for farming Traitstones, is going to shop and always buying any Traitstones that you need, or stocking up on specific Traitstones through the shop. The glory shop. Every single week there are two troops here, one or two, normally two, and they all drop a arcane Traitstone, which are the rarest Traitstones in the entire game, despite them only being of epic rarity. The main reason for this is the legend rarity only has one Traitstone, whereas the epic has like what, 20 different ones. I forget exactly what the exact number is, but it is a very high amount, and they tend to be very, very scarce. And quite a few of them are required for pretty much every troop in the game. Ultra rares and under don't take too many, but once you start getting ep to epics and upwards on base rarity, it starts to really, really get up there. But as you can see, we could get like a bunch of arcane stealth Traitstones to be able to trade up the archer class or something like that. We can get a bunch of mountain Traitstones for Gorgotha or the Great Maul, or any of the tens of good brown yellows in the game. But anyways, that will wrap it up for this video. If you have any other questions about Explore, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. One thing I will be leaving a link to in the comment section below as well is a list that someone just posted the other day that is extremely up to date, or actually completely up to date. And it goes over which Traitstone drops from every single kingdom, if you just wanted to peek at that real quick. It also shows you the total cost for every single arcane Traitstone amount for every single troop. Such as, let's say, like Adana has red yellow. It tells you exactly which troops take red yellow, as well as the total cost for that. So I will link that into the comment section below. I'll probably have a little pop-up thing that comes in the corner as well. But anyways, that'll wrap it up. Have a wonderful day.